Welcome back to my channel, everyone. If you're passionate about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the thrill of discovering something incredibly valuable, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic that could completely change the way you look at your pocket change. The story of the 2000 Sacagawea dollar begins with a moment in American coin history when the United States Mint decided to introduce a new golden-colored dollar coin that would capture both beauty and cultural significance. Featuring Sacagawea, the Shoshone woman who guided the Lewis and Clark expedition, this coin was never just ordinary currency, it carried a powerful narrative. But among millions of these coins, a few rare variations have captured collectors' attention and sparked wild dreams of hidden fortune. At first glance, a 2000p Sacagawea dollar in circulated condition might seem common. After all, millions were produced in Philadelphia with the P mint mark. These coins were meant for everyday use, passing from hand to hand, collecting scratches, wear, and the marks of time. However, within this ocean of ordinary coins, certain rare examples stand out. Coins that possess unique features, minting errors, or experimental qualities that make them incredibly valuable. One of the most famous and valuable versions tied to the 2000 Sacagawea dollar is the so-called Cheerios dollar. These coins were placed in cereal boxes as part of a promotional campaign before the coin's official release. What made them extraordinary was a subtle but important difference in the eagle's tail feathers on the reverse side. This design variation, unknown to many at the time, turned a simple promotional coin into a collector's treasure worth thousands of dollars today. Another factor that can drive the value of a Sacagawea dollar into astonishing territory is minting errors. Coins struck with double dies, off-center impressions, or unusual planchet issues can become extremely rare. Even a small detail like a misalignment or a die crack can turn a seemingly ordinary coin into something collectors are willing to pay huge sums for. These errors are not just flaws, they are unique fingerprints of the minting process. The idea that a circulated coin could be worth millions overnight is exciting, but it's important to understand the reality behind such claims. Most circulated 2000p Sacagawea dollars are worth only a small premium over face value. The true high-value coins are exceptionally rare and often discovered under very specific conditions. Their worth comes from rarity, demand, and verified authenticity, not just age or general appearance. Still, stories of rare coins selling for astonishing amounts are not myths. Throughout history, certain coins have shocked the world by reaching unbelievable prices at auctions. These moments fuel the imagination of collectors and everyday people alike, making them look more closely at the coins in their pockets. The Sacagawea dollar, with its unique history, is often part of these conversations. Condition plays a major role in determining value. A coin that has been heavily circulated with visible wear and damage will almost always be worth less than one preserved in near-perfect condition. However, even worn coins can hold value if they possess rare characteristics. This is why careful inspection is so important. Sometimes the smallest detail can make the biggest difference. The copper side condition you mentioned refers to the visible layering on the edge of the coin. Sacagawea dollars are made from a manganese brass alloy, giving them their distinctive golden color. Over time, wear can reveal subtle variations in tone, but this alone does not make a coin valuable. What matters more is whether the coin shows unusual composition errors or striking anomalies. Collectors often rely on magnification tools to examine coins closely. Under a microscope or loupe, details invisible to the naked eye can reveal whether a coin is ordinary or extraordinary. The tail feathers of the eagle, the clarity of the lettering, and even the texture of the surface can all provide important clues about a coin's origin and potential value. Authentication is another critical step. Many coins that appear rare at first glance turn out to be common upon expert evaluation. Professional grading services carefully analyze coins and assign them a grade based on condition and authenticity. Without this verification, it's nearly impossible to claim that a coin is worth a life-changing amount of money. The dream of becoming wealthy overnight from a single coin is powerful, and it's part of what makes coin collecting so fascinating. It turns everyday objects into potential treasures and encourages people to explore history in their hands. But it's also important to approach these dreams with knowledge and realism, understanding that true rarities are few and far between. If you believe you have a special 2000p Sacagawea dollar, the best step is to compare it carefully with known rare varieties. Look for differences in design, unusual markings, or anything that sets it apart. Taking clear photographs and consulting with experienced collectors or professionals can help you determine its true value. Even if your coin turns out to be common, it still holds historical and cultural significance. The Sacagawea dollar represents an effort to honor an important figure in American history and to create a coin that stands out from the rest. In that sense, every coin tells a story, whether or not it carries a high price tag. In the end, the real value of a coin lies not just in its price but in its story, rarity, and the excitement it brings. While the chances of finding $1 million Sacagawea coin are extremely slim, the possibility keeps the hunt alive. And sometimes that thrill, the idea that treasure could be hiding in plain sight, is worth more than the coin itself. The next up, top 2, the 2008 presidential $1 coin honoring Martin Van Buren, is one of those fascinating pieces of modern American currency that often gets surrounded by myths, hype, and dreams of sudden fortune. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary golden-colored coin, part of a series released to celebrate former U.S. presidents. But beneath its simple appearance lies a story that collectors and enthusiasts continue to explore, especially when questions about rarity and value come into play. Let's begin with the truth that many people don't realize. Most 2008 Martin Van Buren presidential dollars found in circulated and worn condition are not worth millions. In fact, the vast majority are only worth their face value, just $1. These coins were minted in large numbers, and because they are relatively modern, they are still quite common in circulation. However, that doesn't mean every coin is ordinary. Certain rare variations and errors can significantly increase their value. One of the most talked about aspects of presidential dollar coins is the edge lettering. Unlike traditional coins, these coins have inscriptions along the edge, including the year, mint mark, and phrases like e pluribus unum. If your coin appears to have no mint mark, it might not actually be missing. It could simply be located on the edge, which many people overlook. This has led to confusion and, in some cases, excitement among collectors who believe they've found something rare. Now here where things get interesting. Some 2008 presidential dollars were mistakenly struck without edge lettering. These are known as missing edge lettering errors, and they're genuinely collectible. If your Martin Van Buren coin lacks any edge inscriptions at all, you could be holding something far more valuable than a standard coin. Depending on condition, such error coins have sold for tens or even hundreds of dollars, not millions, but still far above face value. Condition plays a massive role in determining value. A heavily circulated coin with scratches, wear, and fatting detail will always be worth less than a coin in mint or near mint condition. Collectors use grading systems to evaluate coins, and even a small difference in condition can dramatically impact price. A pristine, uncirculated Van Buren dollar with a rare error could be worth a significant amount compared to a worn example. Another factor that collectors pay attention to is the finish of the coin. Some coins were struck for collectors rather than circulation, often referred to as proof coins or satin finish coins. These have sharper details and a more polished appearance. If your coin has an unusual shine or detail compared to typical circulation coins, it might belong to one of these special categories. It's also important to understand the composition of the coin. Although it appears golden, the 2008 presidential dollar is not made of gold. It consists of a copper core with a manganese brass outer layer which gives it that distinctive color. This means its intrinsic metal value is not high, and its worth depends almost entirely on collectability rather than material. The idea that such a coin could instantly make someone a billionaire is more of a myth than reality. Stories like these often spread online and create excitement, but in the real coin market, values are based on rarity, demand, and condition, not imagination. That said, rare coins absolutely can change financial situations, just usually not overnight and not from common issues. What makes the Martin Van Buren coin historically meaningful is its place in the presidential dollar series. Each coin represents a chapter of American leadership, and Van Buren himself played a key role in shaping early U.S. politics. For collectors, owning this coin is not just about value, it's about holding a small piece of history in their hands. If you believe your coin might be special, the best step is careful inspection. Check the edge lettering, look for unusual features, and compare it with verified examples. Even small differences can matter. A magnifying glass or coin loop can reveal details that are invisible to the naked eye. For those serious about value, professional grading services can authenticate and evaluate your coin. This adds credibility and can significantly increase its market appeal. Buyers are far more willing to pay higher prices for coins that have been officially graded and certified. At the end of the day, the 2008 Martin Van Buren presidential dollar is a perfect example of how everyday objects can carry hidden stories. While most are common, a few rare pieces stand out and capture the imagination of collectors around the world. The thrill lies in the possibility, the idea that something small and overlooked could turn out to be special. So before you spend that coin or dismiss it as ordinary, take a closer look. Not because it will make you a billionaire overnight, but because it might teach you something about history, rarity, and the fascinating world of coin collecting. And who knows, while it may not change your life instantly, it could still be a valuable and meaningful discovery. The next up top 3 when people talk about hidden treasure in everyday pocket change, the 1998 Jefferson nickel often enters the conversation, but not in the way many viral claims suggest. This coin, part of the long-running Jefferson nickel series featuring Thomas Jefferson, is a real and historic piece of U.S. currency. However, the truth about its value is more grounded, yet still fascinating if you understand what makes certain coins special. The 1998 nickel minted with a P mint mark comes from the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most active coin-producing facilities in the United States. Millions upon millions of these coins were struck, meaning that in normal circulated and worn condition they are extremely common. If you have one in your pocket right now, you are holding a genuine piece of history, but not necessarily a fortune. Now let's address the biggest myth directly. A worn, circulated 1998 Jefferson nickel is not worth millions of dollars. Claims that such coins can make you a billionaire overnight are simply not based in real numismatic facts. In reality, most circulated examples are worth only face value, just 5 cents, or slightly more to collectors, perhaps a few rupees or a fraction of a dollar. But here is where things get interesting. While the ordinary version of this coin is common, there are rare exceptions that can dramatically increase its value. These exceptions come in the form of minting errors, unusual conditions, or exceptionally well-preserved coins. In the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything. For example, if your 1998 nickel has a mint error, it could be worth significantly more. Errors such as double strikes, off-center designs, or die cracks can turn an ordinary coin into a collectible item. These are rare because mistakes at the mint are usually caught early, making surviving error coins highly desirable. Another important factor is the coin's condition. A circulated and worn coin has passed through many hands, losing its original shine and detail. However, if you somehow have a 1998 Jefferson nickel in mint state condition, meaning it looks almost brand new, it can be worth several dollars or even more if graded highly by professional services. Professional grading plays a major role in determining value. Coins graded MS65 or higher mint state by recognized grading companies can fetch premium prices. A high-grade 1998 P nickel, especially one with full steps visible on Monticello, a detail collectors look for, can sell for much more than face value. The copper side you mentioned refers to the coin's composition. Jefferson nickels are made of a copper-nickel blend, giving them that distinctive edge color. This is normal and does not add extra value by itself. However, unusual coloration or tunning caused by environmental exposure can sometimes make a coin visually unique and more appealing to collectors. It's also important to understand the role of demand. Coin collecting is driven by collectors who seek specific features, dates, and conditions. The 1998 nickel is not particularly rare in terms of mintage, so demand is moderate unless the coin has something special about it. Historically, the Jefferson nickel series has been in production since 1938, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Each year adds another chapter to this ongoing story, and even common coins like the 1998 issue contribute to that legacy. There is a certain thrill in checking your coins, though. Many valuable discoveries have been made by ordinary people who took a closer look at their change. While the odds of finding a $1 million coin are extremely low, finding a coin worth more than face value is absolutely possible. If you truly believe your coin is unusual, the best step is to have it examined by a professional coin dealer or grading service. They can identify errors, confirm authenticity, and give you a realistic estimate of its value. So while the dream of instant riches from a single nickel may not be realistic, the journey of collecting and discovering coins can still be incredibly rewarding. It connects you to history, craftsmanship, and the small details that most people overlook. In the end, your 1998 Jefferson nickel may not make you a billionaire overnight, but it can spark curiosity, teach you about history, and maybe even lead you to a rare find one day. And sometimes, that sense of discovery is worth more than the coin itself. The next up top 4, let's clear something important right away. There is no real US $1 coin from 1797-1801 featuring John Adams with the words "In God We Trust." That type of coin simply did not exist during his presidency. The phrase "In God We Trust" was only officially added to US coins much later, during the time of the American Civil War. So if someone is claiming that such a coin exists and is worth millions, that claim is misleading or false. During the late 1700s and early 1800s, the United States Mint had only just begun producing coins, and designs were very different from modern or commemorative coins. There were early dollar coins like the famous draped bust dollar minted between 1795 and 1804, but none of them featured presidents. In fact, early American coins avoided portraits of real leaders because the young nation wanted to distance itself from monarch-style imagery. The idea of putting presidents like John Adams on coins didn't begin until much later in American history. A major example is the presidential $1 coin program launched in 2007. This program honored past U.S. presidents including John Adams, but these coins are modern and usually worth only a small premium unless they have rare minting errors. Now, if you actually have a coin that looks like it features John Adams with a date like 1797-1801, it is almost certainly a modern commemorative coin, replica, token, or fantasy piece, not a historical circulating coin from that time. These are often sold for educational or collectible novelty purposes, but they are not rare in the sense of being worth millions. Real coins from the late 1700s can indeed be valuable, but only specific types and only under certain conditions. Authentic early silver dollars, especially well-preserved examples, can sell for thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. However, their value depends on rarity, mint condition, historical significance, and authentication by experts. Condition plays a huge role in coin value. A circulated coin, meaning it has been used in everyday transactions and shows wear, is typically worth far less than an uncirculated or mint condition coin. Even rare coins lose a significant portion of their value if they are heavily worn. Another important factor is mint marks. Early U.S. coins often did not have mint marks because they were primarily produced in Philadelphia, the first U.S. mint location. So the absence of a mint mark alone does not make a coin rare or valuable. Many viral stories or social media posts exaggerate coin values, claiming that common or replica coins can make someone a millionaire overnight. In reality, the coin market is based on verified rarity and demand, not hype. No genuine expert would claim that a circulated, common-type coin automatically holds life-changing value. If you believe you have an old or unusual coin, the best step is to get it professionally evaluated. Organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Company specialize in authentication and grading, which determines real market value. It's also worth understanding that copper-colored dollar coins are usually modern issues or lower-value pieces. Early U.S. dollar coins were primarily made of silver, not copper. So a copper-side dollar coin is another sign that it is not from the 1797-1801 period. Collectors should always be cautious and rely on verified historical facts. The excitement of finding a rare coin is real, but it's important to separate fact from fiction. True rare coins do exist, but they are well documented and recognized within the numismatic community. In summary, a 1797-1801 John Adams $1 coin with "In God We Trust" is not a real historical coin. It is most likely a modern creation or replica with little monetary value beyond novelty or small collectible interest. That said, don't lose interest in coin collecting. It can still be a fascinating and rewarding hobby. If you want, you can send me a picture or describe your coin in detail and I'll help you figure out exactly what you have and whether it holds any real value. The next up, top 5. The Zachary Taylor Presidential $1 coin honors the 12th President of the United States, Zachary Taylor, who served a short but historically important term from 1849 until his death in 1850. Born on November 24, 1784, Taylor was a career military officer and a national hero before entering politics. He became famous for his leadership during the Mexican-American War, where his battlefield successes earned him the nickname Old Rough and Ready. Despite having little prior political experience, Taylor's popularity as a war hero helped him win the presidency, representing the Whig Party during a deeply divided era in American history. Zachary Taylor's presidency came at a critical moment when the United States was expanding rapidly westward following the Mexican-American War. One of the major issues during his administration was the question of whether newly acquired territories should allow slavery. Although Taylor himself owned slaves, he strongly opposed the expansion of slavery into new states and believed the Union should be preserved above all else. He supported the immediate admission of California and New Mexico as free states, a position that angered many Southern leaders. His firm stance against secession made him an important figure in the events leading up to the American Civil War. Tragically, Zachary Taylor's presidency was cut short when he died suddenly on July 9, 1850, after only 16 months in office, making him one of the shortest-serving U.S. presidents. His death shocked the nation and left many of his policies unfinished. Vice President Millard Fillmore succeeded him and later signed the Compromise of 1850, a series of laws aimed at easing tensions between free and slave states, an issue Taylor had strongly resisted resolving through compromise. Zachary Taylor Presidential $1 coin was released as part of the Presidential $1 coin program, which began in 2007 to honor former U.S. presidents in the order they served. Taylor's coin was officially issued in 2009 by the United States Mint. Like other coins in the series, it was struck at the Philadelphia P and Denver D mints and released primarily for collectors, as the program ended circulation distribution due to low public demand. The obverse front of the coin features a detailed portrait of Zachary Taylor, along with his name, the inscription "In God We Trust," and the years of his presidency, 1849–1850. The reverse back displays the Statue of Liberty, a standard design used throughout the presidential $1 coin series. Unique to this series, important inscriptions such as E Pluribus Unum, United States of America, and the mint mark are engraved on the edge of the coin, making it distinct from traditional U.S. coin designs. Composed of a manganese brass-clad alloy, the Zachary Taylor dollar has a golden appearance, similar to other modern U.S. dollar coins. While it does not contain precious metals like gold or silver, it holds significant historical and numismatic value, especially for collectors completing a full presidential dollar set. Most circulated examples are affordable, but uncirculated and proof versions can command higher prices depending on condition, strike quality, and demand. Today, the Zachary Taylor Presidential $1 coin serves as a lasting tribute to a president who placed national unity above political pressure during one of the most dangerous periods in American history. Though his time in office was brief, Taylor's leadership and resistance to division left a meaningful legacy, making his coin an important piece for collectors and history enthusiasts alike.